All right, so for today, we're actually talking about more stock transactions, but the one part we haven't talked about is those stockbroker fees. Because it's never just like, I bought it for this much, I sold it for this much, I made a profit, right? That would be like your gross profit. We talked last week about that, right? We had gross profits or gross losses. That's, it's kind of like your gross paycheck. It's how much money you made, but is that how much you bring home? No. Same thing with the stock market. You may have, gross like a positive $2,000, but then you had $400 in fees that you paid to the stockbroker. So then you got to take that off to get your net proceeds. Okay, so that's what we're going to work on today. All right, so how do you buy and sell stocks? Can you buy them at the store? You guys run into Kroger real quick, just pick up some stocks on the way out? Yeah, no. Can you sell them at school, the cafeteria? But can I walk up to Kurt and be like, here you go, Kurt, you wanna give me $10, I'll sell you my stock? No, I can't do that, right? That's not how that works. Can you walk into the stock exchange and sell them there?
Yes.
No. No, you cannot. You have to use a stockbroker. Now, when I say use a stockbroker, does that mean you physically have to talk to someone? No, you can do those things online. But it has to go through a stockbroker. Okay, you can't just person to person, I can't just sell them to somebody. All right, so more vocab. Yay! We do have vocab on our test on Thursday, or Wednesday's test. I picked I think there's 18 words on there. I picked the main ones. We have more than 18. But, yes, I just made a Quizlet this morning for it. Today's Monday. Test is Wednesday. All right, buying and selling stocks, that is your stockbroker. They will buy and sell stocks on your behalf. Again, it can be done online. You can call and talk to someone on the phone and have them do it. You can actually meet with one in person. Okay, so it's totally up to you, but it has to go through a stockbroker. The fees that they charge, it's just known as a broker fee. It can be a flat fee, like $12 for every transaction they make for you. Or it can be like a percentage. They're going to charge like 0.5% of however much you're buying or selling. Like they could do it percentage-wise, or they could do it based on just a flat fee. So it depends on what kind of broker you go through.
Are they relatively that low, or will they want 20%?
No, they're usually pretty low. Yeah, like 0.5%, maybe 1%. They're usually pretty low. But, if you're doing major volume of purchasing, it adds up. Yeah. A percentage of the value of the stock trade, that's their commission. Right? So if they're charging 1%, let's say you just did $10,000 worth of sales, right? You sold it or bought it for $10,000, they're going to get a percentage of that. 1%, 0.5%, whatever it may be. All right. If you're thrifty like I am, you may want to go to a discount broker. They usually just charge very low fees. The only bad thing with them is they don't give you any advice. So if you're somebody who is self-sufficient, you're like, I think I know what I'm doing, then you can go to them. They'll take care of the transaction for you. They don't advise you. If you want advice, typically they may charge a little bit higher rate to make those rates or those trades for you. All right. At the market is what you would say if you're instructing the broker to get the best available price. So just like, with anything, it has its own little terminologies. Like if you play a sport, there's probably phrases in your sport that you say that make no sense to anyone except those who play that sport, right? Like in baseball, if you'd say throw it around the horn. Do you guys know what that means? Uh-huh. Yeah, it would be to throw it around the diamond, right? Third baseman throws it to second, throws it to first. It's throwing around the horn. But it's just like those weird terminology that if you're not a baseball person, you're like, what are you talking about? Same thing in the stock market. If it's at the market, it just means to get the best price that you can.
So if I just say sell at the market, they know exactly.
Yep. Specified price you want to pay? Maybe.
It's a sign.
That
is a sign.
Oh, there it goes. Specified price you want to pay is a limit order. Again, that weird terminology. I'm not big in the stock market, so to me it seems weird, but I'm sure if you're in that realm all the time, it makes perfect sense to you. It's going to be a long day. No, it's my computer's being slow. Whoa. There we go. Net proceeds. There it is. That's a big one because that word's used a lot. Represent the amount of money you make after the broker fees are subtracted. So on your test Wednesday, the question students always miss, it'll be a two-part question. I will ask you, what is the gross capital gain or loss? And then I will ask you, what are the net proceeds? So you got to stop and think. Think about like your paychecks. Gross pay is before taxes. So gross capital gain or loss is before the fees are taken out. And then net proceeds, think about your net pay. That's after taxes. That's how much you actually bring home. Same thing here, net proceeds, that's how much you'd actually bring home because you got to take the fees out. Yeah. Usually I ask for the actual dollar figure. I could ask for a percent, but not normally. All right, so Lee made 2 trades through his online discount broker, WeTrade. WeTrade charges a fee of $12 per trade. Lee's first purchase was for $3,456, and his second purchase later in the day was for $2,000. How much did he spend on the day's purchases, including broker fees? Elena? Okay. Good. So just to kind of summarize what she just said, right? He spent $3,456, spent another $2,000, and then how much in fees? $24, right? It's $12 per trade. He made 2 separate trades. So plus another $24, those were your fees. So how much did he spend altogether that day? Say that again. 5,480. So that's how much money was spent that day. Now, for me, I'm looking at that $12 a trade. That's not that bad of a fee. Yeah, that's not terrible. Yeah, they're not usually huge, ridiculous numbers on fees, okay? But there are fees in there. So, like, if you're taking a loss and you have to pay fees, it kind of hurts a little extra more, right? You're already losing money. So number 2, Garrett made 2 trades in one day with his discount broker that charges $7 per trade. Garrett's first purchase was for $1,790. His second purchase was for $8,456. How much did he spend, including broker fees? Same idea. Yep. So he spent $1,790 on the first trade, plus $8,456 on the second. How much in fees? $14. Those were his fees. So altogether, he spent, what? $10,260. All right, so those are pretty straightforward, right? It's just a flat fee for each one, no big deal. Questions so far? Awesome. Number 3, Adriana purchased $7,000 worth of stock from a broker at Tensor Brokerage. The current value of Adriana's portfolio is $11,567. What broker fee must she pay? All right. So go ahead and take a minute, look through the table. Good. So her portfolio is less than $250,000. So we don't have to worry about this bottom part, right? She's not more than that, so she's going to be somewhere up there. So where does she fall? Is she online trades, automated telephone trades, or trades using a broker? From a broker, right here. She made them from a broker. So trades using a broker. So she will pay 0.5% commission plus the online fee. So that's 0.5% of what? Of the $7,000 that she's buying. So $7,000. What's 0.5% as a decimal? 0.005. Right, so we're going to have to take 0.5% plus, it says, the online fee, which is $15. How much? Yep, $50. Right, so, and again, every stockbroker that you're going to, like, they could vary slightly. So if you're somebody who's like, I'm doing this on my own, I don't need advice, you might want to shop around and see who's the cheapest. Okay. we okay with that one, how that table kind of worked? 0.5% commission plus online fee. So we did the percentage times however much she's spending, plus it said online fee was $15. All right, Jared has a portfolio worth $500,000. He made 10 telephone trades during the past year, buying and selling $50,000 worth of stock. What was his total broker fee for the year? All right, guys. So first thing we need to look at is which line is his portfolio. The bottom line. His is worth 500,000. So he's falling here, so I don't care about the top. All right. So is the online trades, automated telephone, or trades using a broker? Telephone. He made 10 telephone trades. So he is this one. Let's put him here. So it is the online fee plus $9.50. Now, what do we know about these trades? Is that one-time thing for the year, or is it's per trade? So the online fee is $12 plus $9.50. So what is his fee per trade then? Yeah, it's $21.50 per trade. And he multiplies that by 10, right? Because he had 10. So fees for the year? $215 in fees. Which, I mean, that's 10 trades. It's not terrible. Not terrible. Yeah. His portfolio is $500,000 too. But you guys notice the difference here? If I do it online, it's just a flat, that's what it is. If I call on the phone, if I do it on the phone, it costs a little more. And then if I use a broker, it's what? No, he did telephone trades. So he's telephone. But like if I use a broker, then broker's going to charge me a percentage of how much I'm buying or selling, plus a flat fee on top of that as well. Correct. Yep, it's one or the other. So, I mean, if you know what you're doing, just do them online. It's going to be your cheapest. Do it on kind of yourself online. But if you have other options, if you want like some advice. All right, number 5. Erin purchased $23,510 worth of stock and paid her broker a 1% broker fee. She sold when the stock price increased to $27,300 and used a discount broker who charged $21 per trade. Compute her net proceeds. I'm going to add on to this question. What was her gross capital gain or loss? Because I know this is where people struggle on the test, because I ask for both parts and people always struggle knowing which one's which. Okay? So which one would be the easiest to figure out right away? The gross. Did she have a gain or a loss? She had a gain, right? She purchased it for $23,510 and then she sold it here. So her gross capital gain. Do you remember what minus what is how we figure that out? That's a percentage. I'm not asking for a percentage. So technically it's just the new minus old, or the selling price minus the purchase price. I mean, don't divide by old and multiply by 100. You just change it to a percentage. All right. So the selling price was $27,300 minus $23,510. So that is her gross capital gain, right? That's like how much money she made working, right? Her gross pay. But is that what she brings home? No, that is not what she brings home. So gross capital gain or loss is just the selling price minus purchase price. That's just flat. That's it, done. But now I want the net proceeds. Net proceeds include what? This includes all those fees. So to find your net proceeds, I mean, if we kind of write the whole thing out, it's just your selling price minus the purchase price, which is what's getting your gross, and then subtract the fees. You just got to take the fees into consideration. All right, so I already know the selling minus the purchase is $3,790. I already know that part. How many fees will I have? 2, from when she bought it and when she sold it. So when she bought it, she paid a 1% fee. Okay, 1% fee is going to be 1% of this, right? So 1% of 23,510, which is what? Good, 235.10. Minus the other fee when she sold it. She used a discount broker who charged $21 per trade. So minus 21. Right, so this is a fee, and this was a fee. You're going to have those 2 fees from when you bought it, when you sold it. So her actual net proceeds, right, the net amount, that amount she actually gets to bring home. Yeah, it's still pretty good. $3,533.90. That is her net proceeds. Thank you. I'll take a penny. It does. You know what? Bring me all your change. I'll keep it. Are we okay in the difference between, though, the capital gain and loss versus the net proceeds? Okay, gross capital, that's just gross pay, like that's without taxes, without fees, nets without or with the fees. All right, so number 6, Yolanda purchased stock for $7,000, paid a 1.5% broker fee. She sold it for $6,325 and paid a 0.5% broker fee. Compute her net proceeds. How did Yolanda do? She didn't do so well. All right. So again, if we're looking at net proceeds, just to kind of spell that out for those of you who may need a little extra help, you take your selling price minus the purchase price. That alone is just going to give you your gross capital gain or loss, right? And then we have to subtract the fees also, if we're looking at net proceeds. All right, so what was the selling price? Yep, so selling price is $6,325 minus the purchase price minus how many fees am I going to have? 2, when I bought it and when I sold it. So when I bought it, $7,000 paid a 1.5% broker fee. So that's going to be the $7,000 times, what's 1.5% as a decimal? 0.015. Good, it's 105. And then I had another fee when I sold it. So when I sold it, it's going to be the 6325 times 0.005. Good. So selling price minus your purchase minus my 2 fees from buying and selling. So what's her net proceeds? Negative $811.63. So she had a lovely loss there. So not only did she lose by just like the gross would be a loss, but you got, what, $136 in fees also that she lost. So that stinks. All right. You guys try the next one on your own. Number 7. Darlene purchases $20,000 worth of stock on her brother's advice, pays her broker 1.5% broker fee. She sells her stock when it increases to $28,600 2 years later, uses a discount broker who charges $21 per trade. Compute Darlene's net proceeds after the broker fees are taken out. All right, guys. So again, finding your net proceeds. We'll go through it again because some people weren't paying attention. No. Oops. So you take your selling price minus the purchase price
Minus fees.
minus your fees.
Yeah.
So the selling price, 28,600 minus the purchase price.
23.
If I stopped there, what did I find? The gross. I found the gross if I stopped there. Take the fees off. So the first fee was 1.5% of that. So 0.015 times 20,300 minus the other fee is just $21. So that will tell you your net proceeds. How much does she actually bring home? $8,279. That's how much she actually gets to bring home. I don't know. Did you figure out why? What were you dancing about? Yeah, I watch it all the time. Did you hear they're coming out with a movie? Practical Jokers, the movie. I don't understand how they make a movie out of it. It's just a really long episode. Like I don't know. My son's all excited. He wants to watch. It's a parenting win right there. I let my 10-year-old watch a Practical Jokers. All right, number 8. Fiaro Brothers, a discount broker, charges their customers a $19 flat fee per trade. The Sando Investment House charges a 2% commission. For what amount of stock would both brokers charge the same commission? So what do you think? Yes. No. He's right. Because let's take a look at why. Because I want to know when they're going to be the same or when are they equal to each other. Well, one of them's $19. That's just all it's ever going to be, $19. This one's 2% of the amount of stock, right? They take 2% of however much you're buying or selling. So when are those two things equal to each other? You just have to divide by 0.02. Good. So if you are buying or selling $950, they would be the same. So what if I'm going to do $2,000? Which one should I go with? The 2% or the 19? The 19. What if I'm going to do like only $600 worth? I'd go to the 2% one. Right? Anything more than $950, it's going to be cheaper for me to just do the $19 one. Anything less than $950, it's going to be cheaper to do the percent one. Okay? I hear a no. $950 is when these are going to be the same. Okay? So any value more than $950, if I'm going to trade like $2,000 worth of stocks, it's going to be cheaper for me if I go to the $19 flat fee one. Because 2% of anything more than this is more than $19. So then if I'm trading less than $950, I'm going to want to go with the percentage one because then it's going to be less than $19. So as you guys get older, this is one of the things you guys need to kind of stop and think about. Not only trading in stocks, but this is true for a lot of things. You have to kind of weigh the pros and cons, especially if one's in a dollar figure and one's in a percentage. Kind of see where are they equal to each other, and then you kind of know. They used to always do the cell phone, like when you used to have to pay for minutes. You guys are probably do you guys remember that? And how you guys are too young for that? But you know what I mean? Like back then, you used to have to kind of do that. Like, how many minutes do I usually talk on average per month? You know, I had to kind of pick which plan you wanted, where you fell. Same idea. Thankfully, we don't do that anymore. What? $400 hours? You're not on your phone. You sleep on the phone with people.
That's the thing that this generation does that I just don't get.
You've never been on FaceTime and then you just like go.
No. Nope. Can't. say I ever have. That's weird. That's weird. So it's an episode of The Truman Show? Did you guys seen The Truman Show? You guys ever seen The Truman Show? Jim Carrey's in that. So where from the time he was born as a baby, like he's been part of a TV show where there's a camera on him 24 hours a day, but he doesn't realize he's on a TV show. He thinks he's in like, that's his regular world. You guys have never seen that? You should watch it. The Truman Show. If not, maybe we'll watch that Friday if everybody's got the projects done. It's a good movie. No, The Truman Show it's a movie where a kid was taken from birth, and he's yes. But like the whole premise is like throughout the movie, like he figures out that he's a TV show. That's what he thinks is his real life is not his real life. It's called The Truman Show. The Truman Show. Pay attention. What? Not appropriate for school, though. All right, number 9. Sal bought X shares of a stock that sold for $23.50 per share. He paid a 1% commission on the sale. The total cost of his investment, including the broker fee, was $3,560.25. How many shares did Sal purchase? Sure, we can say it is. All right, so we need to stop and think how all of this is like fees, right? Because we have our total cost is $3,560.25. We do need to set it up as an algebra problem. There's an X in it. Of course it's an algebra problem. All right. Well, if I know that my stock that I'm dealing with is $23.50 per share, what do I have to do with the $23.50? I have to multiply by X. So $23.50 per share. I don't know how many shares I bought. Right? Because you got to keep in mind what X is standing for. This is your number of shares. Not hashtag shares. Number of shares. Guys, shh. So now they said that total, that $3,500 right there, that's the amount I spent plus my broker fees. Plus, what's my broker fee? It's 1%. So 0.01. I can't just do 0.01 because that's a penny. So it's 1% of what? So you have to multiply percentages. It takes, really? The fee is not charged on per shares. They charge you 1% of what?
3,560.
Okay, so if you go back to the previous problems we were looking at, when it was a percentage, you multiplied the percentage by however much money was spent. If it was a $20,000 trade, I did my percentage times the $20,000. So this right here gives me the amount of trade. Right? This is how much money I'm spending on stocks. $23.50 per share. So when I multiply those together, it gives me how much money I spent altogether. And then the fee is 1%. You can't just do 0.01 because that means it's just a penny if you leave it sitting there like that. Right? It's a percentage of the actual amount I've spent, which I don't know what it is. It's right here. So really, should these be terrible to set up? Because every time, if I'm going to ask you how many shares, it's always going to be how much per share times X. And then my amount of my trade is always what's sitting right here. It's always the same thing. Okay, so if I want to solve this, what do I do next? I need to solve for X, but let's figure out what that is first, right? So I'm going to multiply that. Or can I be lazy and do all this in one turn? Can I just type this kind of like, see what this is? Right, but they both have an x. No. And then stick the x on it, yeah. That's what I would do. It's going to give you 23.735x.
15,150 stocks.
But do you realize why it's not just 0.01? Because students do this all the time. They're like, oh, 1%, 0.01, and they kind of move on. I'm like, 0.01 in and of itself, that's a penny. Okay, because percentages, it's always a percent of something. You have to multiply it by something. Good, and then just divide to solve for x. So you should get 150 shares. Now, you're going to see a question like this on homework tonight. Circle this, star this, highlight this. It's going to be set up just similar to that. Yes, sir. I just put my like terms together right here.
Hey Google, remind me of number 9 in 5 minutes.
Probably not. All right, guys, your homework for tonight. I'm going to give you worksheet 1-7. It's on your paper, but just in case, it's right there. So I again did not cross them off before I copied them. So you're going to be able to cross off number 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 11, 13, 16. You can cross those off. You're welcome.